Hey, so I'm gonna be posting this on YouTube because for some reason Instagram has been cutting off stories, at least my stories, anyways, after about a minute. Usually gives you 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I can't remember what it was, but gave us. It's been giving me a little bit of trouble lately, just with the stories. So something came up that I wanted to post. It was after I ran into somebody after working out today, but so I run a meal prep business here in Portland. So and it's coming out. It's about 3 years now that we've been doing it, and it started. I've never run a business before. Never happened. Never had a business before. So um, meal prepping has been. Excuse me. I'm just at my son's school. And there's a lot of people going around. So um, part of my fitness journey was getting control of my nutrition and eating and stuff like that. So meal prepping became a huge part of that. And we started meal prepping, and we found a couple of things. Is one, you control portions. Two, made it convenient for the rest of the week because we do, my wife and I do raise a child who's on the autism spectrum, which adds another challenge into raising a kid. And I will say this, I don't think we're any more special as parents raising a kid in today's society because he has autism, because raising a kid in general is a challenge in itself, and it is hard to raise a kid. There's no doubt. But I will say that when you add the autism spectrum issues that we have, it's just another challenge in everyday life. So, but meal prepping made just scheduling out stuff and planning out stuff for the week a little bit easier. And then it grew from there. So it started off as something we did, and then we saw people approaching us, and started off with us handing out a few meals here and there, and then people from my wife's work and from my work asking for a few meals, so charging them a few bucks. And then after we realized the need, we were like, this is crazy. We're crazy not to turn this into a business. So not knowing anything about business and not even realizing there was other meal prep businesses out there, we just did it. We just threw ourselves in it. Didn't try to worry about it too much. In writing a business plan and doing research in the area, when you're writing a business plan, you do start doing research about competition and marketing and all that stuff. We learned that there was two other services right here in Portland, basically. So that threw us for a loop for a second, because we were like, well, what makes us different? How are we going to compete with two other ones? But we just did it, and it turns out that there is there's abundance for everybody. So even though like we were operating and competing with two other services, we just did it. Had no idea what we were doing. Cooking, meal prepping for ourselves and for maybe a few other people is different than meal prepping for 100, 200. I shouldn't say, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Cooking, maybe 10, 15, 20 meals a week, 30 maybe, a lot different. Cooking 100, 200, 300 meals, 400, creeping up on 500 a week. Much different. One, you can only do it for so long out of your house, and then once you turn it into a business, you technically have to put into a commercial kitchen and licenses and all that stuff. Learn that on the fly. But that's fine. 3 years into it, we're still going, growing. Left my full-time job to do it because it reached a point where I couldn't do both. I couldn't work full-time and then run the business full-time. So did that, left my full-time job, I working with people and blah blah blah, but ran into somebody who and I won't say where or who, but just made a comment like, well, you're not as good as the other one. And I thought about that for a second. We're 3 years into this, still going strong. Still, people order from us and have a need, and we picked up. We get a lot of attention from local MMA fighters and local athletes and stuff looking for sponsors and stuff, and they love us. So, and I'm not saying the other ones don't do this, but we, so it's we're not failing, I should say. Okay, it's hard work. Do it all the time. We throw in everything else that goes on in life: school, work, Junior's issues with his autism, and just planning out his high school life and activities and stuff like that. Me making sure that I get take care of me and the gym and fitness and just all the other stuff that I do to take care of myself and all the interest stuff that I like to do. But yes, business. But I thought about what they said, and anybody that's ever started a business or put themselves out there, anything like that, always seems to get criticized by people who don't do that. You look at other people who do the criticizing and just some of the comments and negative comments. Those are the people that are miserable in their jobs. Those are the people that want to do something else but don't. Now, I'm not saying it's not scary. I'm not saying you have your doubts. I'm not saying there are days where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I've had those days. I still have those days. However, know from personal experience, know that, and I know if you already run a business, you already know this, but know that you'll always get criticized by someone. You can't please everybody, and that's probably one of the hardest things to ever get over. Is you will never make everybody happy. You will never please everybody. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You won't be able to steal and have all of the customers for yourself. You're always going to have competition, and that's fine. Just do what you're supposed to do. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you want to do. Believe in yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. It's one of the hardest things for myself to really accept that, and just do what I do. Not listen to the people who are not, out there every day putting themselves out there, financially, emotionally, physically, stuff like that. So a year ago, I've been hearing stuff like that for a while, but a year ago that probably would have hit me harder than it did today. I heard it and I was like, consider the source. When you hear something like that, consider where it's coming from. If it's another business owner, your competition, whatever, saying and putting you down, then consider that. One successful business owner will never say that to somebody who's up and coming, unless the competition is just, they're unethical or whatever like that. But there is plenty of stuff, plenty of success for everybody. You just have to put yourself out there. But somebody who's not throwing themselves out there, started a business, put their finances on the line, had their credit score tank because they want to start a business and they believe in what they did and stuff like that. Bills and time management and all that stuff that stresses you out and keeps you up at night and stuff like that. Know that you have to believe in yourself, but know that somebody that's going to say something negative or not even meant to be negative, but just not thinking about what they're saying, consider where it comes from, because it's always somebody that's not putting in the work that you are. That is my personal perception here, my opinion. You might have something else, another perception or another opinion about that. But when I heard it, I took it in for a second, but then I was like, I brushed it off very quickly, which about probably a year ago, especially 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do. But so yeah, that's that popped up today, and I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, so things are good. If you are contemplating starting a business, doing something different, and whatever, know that whatever your situation is, competition, your family situation, financial situation, obviously you have to think about it. You have to plan out a little bit and consider everything. But know that conditions are never going to be perfect. You'll always wait. I mean, you'll wait forever if you think you're going to get the perfect conditions or you're going to get this, that, or that. Obviously, do a little bit of research, but just if you believe in it, go for it. Just go for it. Sorry if I'm speaking and I'm all over the place. stuttering and mixing up my words. But just being real here. I'm just being me, and that's all I can do for the moment. But I hope that if you are having similar situations, or if you're feeling the same way, just know that you're not alone. Everybody goes through that. You're feeling it. Just believe in what you have, believe in yourself, believe in what you do, and just do your best to not listen to the negative comments. It's easier said than done, I know that, but I'm on social media, Facebook's, Instagram, anything like that. So if anybody that is looking at this video has any questions, and they want to reach out and ask me anything, please feel free to do so. Comment here, since this will be on YouTube. Thumbs up it if you would. Comment here, contact me through social media, and share it in 2.0. And have a great day. All right, see you.